Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Daily English Dialogues, the podcast where we break down the nuts and bolts of language learning. I'm your host, Mike.
And I'm Vicki. It's great to be here. Today we're tackling a huge milestone for every English learner, making that leap from translating in your head to actually thinking directly in English.
It's a massive hurdle, isn't it? It's that moment where the language stops being a mental puzzle you have to solve for every sentence and starts becoming a natural part of your thought process.
Exactly. That constant back and forth, translating from your native language, is exhausting and slow. It creates a delay that makes real, fluid conversation feel impossible. But the good news is it's a habit you can change.
That's right. And today, we're going to share 7 practical, concrete strategies you can start using today to rewire your brain and start thinking like a native speaker. So, Vicki, where do we begin?
Let's start small with something you can do without even opening your mouth. It's all about visualization. Picture a simple daily scenario. For instance, making your morning coffee.
Okay, I'm with you. The morning coffee ritual.
Instead of just doing it on autopilot, narrate the entire process in your head in English. I am walking to the kitchen. I'm opening the cupboard. I'm taking out my favorite mug. You're not translating thoughts. You're attaching English words directly to actions.
That's a fantastic point. You're creating a direct connection. Action equals English phrase. You're completely cutting out your native language as the middleman. You can do this for brushing your teeth, getting dressed, making breakfast.
Any routine, really. It builds a foundational layer of English thinking with vocabulary that is immediately relevant to your life.
This leads perfectly into our second strategy, actively describing your surroundings. It's like taking that internal narration and pointing it outward.
Right, so wherever you are, on the bus, in a park, even just sitting in your room, you start labeling things in your head.
Exactly. Look around and think, that is a tall tree. The leaves are green. A blue car is driving by. The man is wearing a red jacket. Don't worry about forming complex, perfect sentences. Just make simple observations.
I love that because it forces you to use the vocabulary you might not practice in a textbook. You start noticing gaps in your knowledge, like, what's the word for that part of the building? Then you can look it up, and because you learned it in context, you're much more likely to remember it.
It's an active real-time vocabulary builder, so we've got internal narration and external observation. What's next, Vicki? How do we bring more English in from the outside world?
Strategy number 3 is all about immersion through media consumption. This is a big one. Surround yourself with English. Change the language on your phone, your computer, your social media apps.
That's a great simple switch. It makes English a part of your daily digital life.
And then there's the entertainment side. Start watching movies and TV shows in English. At first, use subtitles in your own language, then switch to English subtitles. Eventually, your goal is to watch with no subtitles at all.
That progressive approach is key. You don't want to overwhelm yourself and get discouraged. The same goes for music and podcasts. Listen to English music and look up the lyrics. Find podcasts on topics you're genuinely interested in.
Totally. If you're trying to listen to a finance podcast, but you hate finance, you'll tune out. But if you love gardening, find a gardening podcast in English. You'll be motivated to understand because the content is interesting to you.
That's a golden rule of learning, really. Connect it to your passions. Now, this brings us to what might be the most powerful strategy of all, but also maybe the one that feels the weirdest at first: consistent self-talk.
Oh, for sure. It can feel a bit strange talking to yourself.
It really can, but this is where the magic happens. Your internal monologue, that little voice in your head that's always running, needs to start speaking English. Start by asking yourself simple questions. What do I want for lunch today? I think I'll have a sandwich. Or, I need to remember to buy milk after work.
You're essentially practicing conversation with the safest person you know, yourself. There's no judgment, no fear of making mistakes. You can even try speaking your thoughts out loud when you're alone, like in the car or the shower.
Yes, that's a great way to practice pronunciation too. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, your brain will start to default to English for these internal conversations, and that's a massive step toward genuine fluency.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of mental exercises, but what about physical tools? Our fifth strategy is about using tools like journals and flashcards to reinforce this new way of thinking.
Right, taking it from the mind to the page.
Exactly. Get a notebook and start a simple daily journal in English. It doesn't need to be a long essay, just 3 or 4 sentences. Today was a good day. I had a meeting at work. I ate pasta for dinner. I am tired now. The act of writing forces your brain to structure thoughts in English.
And with flashcards, there's a specific technique to help you stop translating. Instead of writing an English word on one side and its translation on the other, try something different. Put the English word on one side, and on the other side, draw a picture of the word, or write a simple English definition.
That's such a crucial tip, Mike, for the word apple. You see the word, and then you see a picture of an apple. You're again reinforcing that direct link, word to concept, completely bypassing your native language.
It fundamentally changes how you learn vocabulary. Okay, all these strategies are great, but they all involve a certain level of vulnerability. You're going to get things wrong. Which brings us to strategy number 6, normalizing mistakes.
Yes, this is the emotional side of language learning. The fear of making a mistake can be paralyzing. It can make you retreat back into the safety of translating in your head because there you feel like you have more control.
You have to give yourself permission to be imperfect. Every single mistake you make is not a failure. It's a sign that you're pushing your boundaries. It's a piece of data that shows you what you need to practice more. Fluency is not about perfection, it's about communication.
Absolutely. Laugh at your mistakes. If you say something funny by accident, just own it. Most native speakers will understand what you mean and they won't judge you. They'll just be impressed that you're speaking their language. So be brave. Speak.
Be brave. I love that. And that bravery is easier to find when you're not trying to climb a mountain in a single day. This is our 7th and final strategy, setting small, manageable goals.
This is so important for avoiding burnout. Don't make your goal, I will only think in English from now on. That's impossible and sets you up for failure.
Right. A much better goal would be, today for 5 minutes I will describe my room in English. Or I will narrate the process of making my lunch in English.
Exactly. Tiny, achievable goals. When you complete that 5-minute task, you get a little feeling of success. That success builds confidence, and that confidence motivates you to try a 10-minute task tomorrow. It creates a positive feedback loop.
It's all about building momentum. So to quickly recap our 7 strategies. 1. Visualize and narrate your daily routines. 2. Describe your surroundings. 3. Immerse yourself in English media. That positive loop is so crucial. And once you've built up some confidence talking to yourself and narrating your world, it's time to take the next logical step, which is our 8th strategy. Start speaking with other people.
4. Practice consistent self-talk. 5. Use tools like journals and picture-based flashcards. 6. Embrace and normalize your mistakes. And 7. Set small, manageable goals. This is the big one for many learners. It's where all that private practice pays off. Find a language exchange partner online, join a conversation club, or even just find a patient friend who is a native speaker. The goal is to move from thinking in English to communicating in English.
The common thread here is patience and daily repetition. This isn't an overnight switch. It's a gradual process of building a new mental habit.
That's the key takeaway. Be patient with yourself. Some days will be easier than others, but if you stick with these practices every day, even for just a few minutes, you will start to notice a change. That mental gear grinding of translation will begin to fade, replaced by the smooth, quiet hum of thinking directly in English.
A perfect summary, Vicki. And that's all the time we have for today on Daily English Dialogues. Thank you all for listening. Keep practicing, be patient, and we'll talk to you next time.